You're listening to an East Coast Guild podcast. Check us out at eastcoastguild.com.
Holy crap! What's up, everybody? It's your boys.
I was supposed to say, you're gonna start that with "It's your boy." Like, come on.
It's your boy, Spicy Meatball. No,
Back at it again.
So what's up? It's been a hot second, everybody. It's been like a year and a quarter.
Yeah,
It's been since April 2019 since we've said anything, and
I was a child then, and I still am a child.
yeah, well, COVID didn't help anything with that. But if you guys are new here, welcome. This is Organization 2 Podcast. Most things about KH2 because we have to make some amendments. We found out that when KH3 came out in 2019, we kind of burned ourselves all out with that and KHUX, and now they've added Dark Road to the mobile game, which is quite literally, it's very much a load of so there's that goes on. But overall, it's okay. We have a lot of things that we probably need to catch up and talk about.
Also, before you continue, technically we didn't introduce ourselves.
That's true, we didn't.
And if anyone's new, I'm sorry. I'm Sando. You might hear me sometimes from time here and there. I'm not a loud talker.
He's not, as I slowly push the mic more in front of him and make my own voice louder because I can.
And then Loud Man is
There's
killed.
times when you get the man-child that can't raise his voice at all. Sorry. So, and I'm Kilomes. I go by Kill or Kilo. Either way is fine with me. Just don't call me late for dinner. That's an old joke right there. Anyway.
Wait, can I call you other names then?
I mean, you already have. So,
Dad!
basically, where have we been? So Sando got a girlfriend and ditched me for 6 months.
I mean, I can't argue.
Yeah,
with
he
it.
can't argue that one. So we've already had that conversation. We figured that out.
I'll just get another girlfriend and it just
you'll have
ditch
two
you, and ditch you even longer.
Yay! Then also with the stuff like we had a lot of burnout with KH3 and everything like that. It was really tough to kind of go through and get everything done and everything like that. Like I know we said we were going to go through the organization reports and talk about them and all that stuff, and,
we did.
We just didn't do it. And then like I literally opened up Anchor the other day, a couple days ago. I was like, man, I'm really curious how the podcast is like. It should be dead, right? Like the podcast should be completely dead. There should be no problems. It's gone. It's donezo.
And then you messaged me
and
out
then
of the
I'm
blue.
like, I messaged him. I'm like, we need to do the podcast again. And he's like, what? And I was like, we still have. And now note, like, our last podcast got like 65 listens over the past year. And we still have apparently 16 people that listen to our podcast as our estimated audience, which we went, if it was anything more than 5, we were going to be like, crap, we have to start the podcast again.
So for those 16 of you, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're lighting a fire under our butts to actually get something done and going with it.
We kind of forgot this existed, but hey, we're back. We're going to be trying to do this more.
Well, we didn't forget. We just didn't know what to talk about.
Yeah.
And so that's why I wanted to say at the beginning, like, we're making an amendment. It's going to be a mix of our lives in KH.
I'd say it's like
It's
70,
going to be
75
70-30.
Yes.
70-30, 75-25.
Yeah.
Where we're still mostly it's Kingdom Hearts and all that stuff. And PC, no, you can be restarted whenever I feel like it, not right now. You obviously see I'm doing something, so you're trying to be rude. But so that's the biggest thing. Couple of other things. I moved out, so we're now recording in my new office, which is fun. We need to get a better mic set up because only one of the mics decides to work today. I'll figure that problem out on a later date.
And in the
because there's like 3 different things it could be. It could be the mic, it could be the splitter, or it could be the cable.
I really hope it's just the mic, so we can just do
I really
that.
hope it's just the mic.
Hope it's not the splitter. God,
The
no.
the splitter's the cheapest option for it to be, though.
Yeah, but cabling, and it's not too bad.
Anyway, so
that's one.
That's a really cool thing. So now we can have a new slogan that this is the best KH podcast, not in your mom's basement. And by not in your mom's basement, we mean not in my mom's basement. Because we're not in my mom's basement anymore, which we were when we were first recording this.
You lost me somewhere, and I'm not in your basement.
So we're that could have been the old slogan, was the best KH podcast in my mom's basement. We are no longer in that though, so we're starting again, and it's funny because I like look at Sando and in the corner of my eyes, I have this like really nice lamp that's got like it's kind of like a Japanese style lamp with like kind of like the almost looks like the paper lantern on the top. And it's got 3 shelves all full of KH paraphernalia. Like I have my pretty much my most expensive pops and the collector's toys from KH3 all sitting on there. And then just a random shadow. So, I mean,
You mean a random Albert?
random Albert.
Totally was blanking on that a second ago.
But so that's this makes me laugh.
Also stuff for planning in the future. So since we're now Kale's now in his own place, well kind of.
Yep.
I'm also going to hopefully in the next couple of months be moving in.
Exactly. That's another thing. So the plan for us is I'm going to say that we should do it once a week because that can force Sando to hang out with me.
I mean, I'm already going to be hanging out with you
if
anyways.
He moves in, he's going to have to be moving. He's going to have to hang out with me anyway. So
we'll try. No promises. I might just sleep forever.
No, that's just wake you up. Be like,
hey,
stick a mic in your face. Okay, we're doing this.
All right.
Potatoes.
Coffee. We would
Coffee.
I want to leave this podcast now.
No, you don't. That's not true.
You're right. I'll make Donald drink the coffee.
Make Donald drink the coffee. But yeah, so that's just kind of like what it's been and what's been going on, at least with me. I moved out, had to finish the school year. COVID happened. But the reason the podcast stopped is because we stopped doing the podcast. We lost there was plenty of annoying things to look at. Like the last podcast was 30 things that don't make sense in KH when really only 2 of them were legitimate complaints.
And we only really did that because we didn't know what else to talk about. So let's just find something that BuzzFeed did, honestly.
And we did that so that way we could destroy BuzzFeed because who doesn't like destroying BuzzFeed anymore? I love destroying BuzzFeed.
I mean, I love destroying them, but they also have good quizzes from time to time.
That's all they're good for.
Yep.
So, and before there's a BuzzFeed article about 2 KH podcasters trashing them. That would be a great headline. I would gladly respond to that too.
I'll be honest, we gotta be big enough for that. We're not big enough.
Goals, everybody. Share this with your favorite KH fans.
So we can make fun of BuzzFeed in their face, not behind their backs.
I don't even remember where that article came from. It might have been. I don't think it was a BuzzFeed article. But it might have been. We could find it. It wouldn't be hard for us to find it, but it's not really worth my time finding it. If
it's not BuzzFeed, we're gonna say it's BuzzFeed because it was like that style.
It was a BuzzFeed style. Yeah.
It was crap.
But we don't want to do things like that. And we liked talking about the KHUX stuff, but I don't like playing KHUX anymore. Mostly because I wish there was a better auto feature, I guess. But sorry, we both got a text message at the same time from the same person. I don't know. I kind of want to move. I want us to keep talking about stuff. The original point of this podcast was for us to theory craft and talk about stuff. We were going to talk about one of the things I wanted to talk about. And I wanted to bring Nar back on was talking about the different factions in mental health.
Yeah, but it was also this whole podcast in itself is, hey, we enjoy the series.
Yeah,
there's other people who enjoy it. We're gonna talk about it and have fun. But at the same time, it's yes, the first couple episodes are here's bits and pieces here and there. What's everyone else's opinions? What's all this and this? And we would love to go back and do that, but
we also really want you guys to be involved. So I guess let's put it out there. If you guys would like to be involved and help us build a community around this podcast, tweet, not even I guess, I don't know. I guess tweet at us or follow us on Twitter. Join my Discord. And tell me why you're joining Discord, because I'll make a channel for it in my community Discord. Because I guess for those that don't know or don't remember, I stream on Twitch now.
Yeah, Mixer doesn't exist.
Mixer doesn't exist anymore, which is we'll talk about stuff like that too, by the way.
Yeah.
Because those are things that we want to talk about. Be by the way, Mixer died.
Stuff hit the fan.
It exploded. But
Bluey.
But like that's gonna be the 25%. I think we wanted to double down on Kingdom Hearts, and when we did, we
burned ourselves out on
Yeah.
it pretty quickly.
because we were ingesting so much content.
Yeah.
But so our plan for the future of the podcast, which Chris already talked a little bit about, is since he'll be living here, it'll be easier. We want to have like talk about one topic or an article or something in one of the games, like maybe we'll do a series on the Zemnis reports or the Ansem reports or the Xehanort reports,
or about Bay Larxene, or
or about how Larxene's, like, if that's your Bay, what it says about you as a human being, and we do a psychoanalysis of Sando.
Or hey, when you're doing your shortcuts, you should always put fire on square.
Oh my god, stop it! We're not arguing about shortcuts right now.
It's too perfect. I'm sorry.
But by the way, if you don't put cure on your shortcut as X, you're a heathen. And you can tweet at me that I'm wrong, but you're a heathen if you don't put your healing item on A.
Okay.
For your shortcuts. Now note, if you're playing a randomizer and using a Japanese ISO for final mix, you might have to switch things around because they switch X and circle.
Yeah.
Which there is a patch for.
Which we'll get into later.
Yeah, we'll get into talking about why I know that later.
Why you're such a nerd.
God.
That I corrupted you with.
I need to go and fix. If I can fix X and 0, though, if we can patch that, would be glorious. Which we had to make a panache for. I love how they're called panaches instead of just patches.
Yeah, that's the coding name.
Like the coding names of panache. Anyway, so that's our plan. Is we're gonna try to do it weekly. We'll try to talk about things. We gotta talk about Remind.
We're probably gonna do that entirely for one episode, just because there's so much.
We'll probably do all of Remind as 1 to 2 episodes.
Mostly because we need to replay it because we don't.
Well, I remember most of it, but replaying it wouldn't be bad. I mean, we could jump through replaying it in like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah,
that's not hard at all. Then playing the data fights and then talking about the data fights is something I want to do. And then we could probably go through and just start talking and dissecting the games more and like talk about one more. Talk about stuff like the reports and stuff like that. Talk about the lore and everything.
Talk about the pros and cons of each game and how they impacted the gaming world. And
why Chain of Memories is still the worst game in existence. Like, you know, I get on a lot of people. They'll be like, the prequels for Star Wars sucked, or insert other thing in your life that does that, right? You know how it's like there's this long series of something, and they're like, well, these ones all suck, but it's like known in the community that like, yes, I'd still rather watch The Phantom Menace than X, Y, or Z movie that's considered good because it's just the worst of the Star Wars movies.
Hey, no, I won't go there.
No, we're not talking, like, I'm not trying to get into a conversation about Jar Jar Binks right now.
I was going to say Crystal Skulls.
Yeah, well, you're just wrong. That's just wrong. You can't. If you like the Crystal Skulls the most out of all the Indiana Jones movies, like, you just need to back up and think, what went wrong in my life for me to think that this cliche of a movie was all right? And I know for you that it's because it's the only one you've seen. But I really want you to sit down and watch The Last Crusade. I think you'd enjoy it more. It's got Sean Connery in it.
But at the same time,
and he's dying.
Ooh, fair point.
Like,
but on the bright side, I'm not the bright side. The thing is, I'm just screwy in the head to begin with. So,
but anyway, when I bring up the stuff to bring it back around to what I was talking about.
Oh yeah.
When I bring up that Chain is the worst game that I've ever, like, one of the worst games I've ever played, I don't just mean it's the worst Kingdom Hearts game. I mean, it's actually one of the worst games I've ever played in my life. Like, in my life.
You have multiple lives?
Yeah, every game I play, I create a new life. So, God, Wally, leave us alone. Oh my God! He's so demented. Why would he send us that picture?
Oh wait, it's a picture? Oh no.
Yeah, it's a picture.
Yeah,
he's Snapchat. Our buddy sent us a Snapchat picture of himself. Anyway, no, don't look at it right now. Just avoid. So that's what I mean like that. Like, and I know 3D had some problems. I still think its problems were only really just the one thing that was there.
Yeah.
It was just the diving was the only problem. And then Coded, I really didn't. I liked Coded. A lot of people, well, Recoded.
Yeah.
A lot of people like hated on Recoded, but I mean, it was still like it would be one of those things of like it would be like the worst Star Wars movie, right? Like how I'd still rather watch it than like Jaws or something like you know what I'm saying.
I know the analogy you're throwing
So
at me.
it's like I'd still rather play or watch the stuff for Recoded than Chains. Chains killed me on the inside. On a spiritual level, I died playing Chain again on stream, proud mode. I just it hurt my soul, and everybody wanted me to be okay, and I couldn't be okay because Chain of Memories is so bad in its gameplay.
Don't worry. Never mind.
It's the Crystal Skulls.
I was gonna make a dumb pun with chain to your heart, and I am your memory. I'm gonna stop.
Wow,
right there.
that broke really well.
Sando, we're good.
Wow. Anyway, so we'll talk about all that stuff. I mean, I think we've done a podcast of our favorite games.
We have. I'm pretty sure we have.
I think we talked about. If we didn't, we talked about it in the final mix. Is KH2 final mix greater than KH3?
Yeah,
I think we talked about it there. Which going back and playing KH2 final mix after playing KH3. I don't get the complaints about the movement because I'm like, you're just as floaty in both games.
Yeah. I mean, you are and you aren't. It all depends on how you play the game. If you're more of a movement based and you do all this and that, yeah, you are a little bit more floaty here and there. But at the same time, it's down to preference.
I think the thing, well, yeah, and with what we're going to talk about as the main point in this one, like the big thing that we want to spend a lot of meat talking about as our main topic.
I forgot for a second, but yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
I think I noticed it a lot more because I had abilities way earlier.
Yeah.
But I think it's just the fact of like people were mad that it was more of a ground combo based game than an air combo based game, and I'm like, that's such a nitpick that literally explains why all the speedrunners are making that nitpick.
Yeah.
Although I guess BB actually was like. He's like, yeah, I actually don't hate Kingdom Hearts 3. I actually liked the game. And he's like, I can tell you why everybody else doesn't like it, but I didn't have a problem with it. And I was like, oh, that's nice to hear.
And for those of you who don't know, in the Kingdom Hearts community, there's a streamer known as
Bloody Bizkit.
Bloody Bizkit. Biscuits? Something like that.
Yeah,
but his nickname is BB. And he's a big Twitch streamer, big in the speedrunning community for Kingdom Hearts. He does all the stuff here and there. And he's the one that both of us will watch for live streams, stuff here and there. It's like, oh, hey.
And, I also started watching Ninten.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
Ninten's really good. I watch him. I enjoy his randomizer. He's super chill.
Yeah.
But I enjoy watching him because he streams like when I'm going to bed. So like, I'll turn him on and fall asleep.
Ninten's a good guy.
I like
so
him.
is Crispy and Sonic Shadow, the guy who actually made or one of the guys who made the randomizer. As we go into
okay, so.
I don't want to talk about us and our personal lives anymore because I don't have anything else to add.
So Sando came to me the other day, like a week or two, no, 2 weeks ago.
I will preface it before saying this that this isn't the first time there has been a randomizer for Kingdom Hearts. There was one back in the early in the
1900s when the game didn't exist and Nomura hadn't yet destroyed himself in being a sadistic warlord of a wonderful genre.
Thank you. Back in early 2019, there was late 18, early 19. There was another randomizer that it was along the same premise as this one is, but there were some subtle differences here and there. A little bit in the coding, you couldn't do nearly as much for stuff here and there. So
they hadn't cracked the code yet on it.
It was a lot clunkier and a lot bulky. Now this one that I found a couple weeks ago, I told Kill about, which had
been like. And rumored onto me for like a couple of months. People were like, "Hey, there's a KH randomizer. You need to get on it. You need to get on it." I was like, "Whatever, I'm not really worried about it." I'm with my stream world. I was like, I'm not really like playing Kingdom Hearts right now. We're kind of like we're taking a step back. We're just kind of chilling. We're doing kind of our own thing. But that was probably the best 12 hours I've spent in a Kingdom Hearts game.
Now, for those, again, this is Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. So it starts off, instead of you starting off with, all the whole cutscenes.
Tutorial Town!
Yeah, Twilight Town. Instead of you starting off with that, you actually start off in, outside of choosing the sword, shield, and
you
staff.
choose your sword, shield, or staff, and then you jump right into the garden.
The Garden of Assemblage, which in Final Mix, that's where you go to do all the data
Which
fights.
is also the name of the mod, is called the Garden of Assemblage.
Yeah. So instead of there being a world map, so you don't have to do any of the gummies, you don't have to do all of that, it's just literally, hey, you show up here in the center, all of the gates that you would have for the data fights is all different worlds and different specific things here and there.
Yeah. And it's super, super simple, super fun.
And then you go from there, it's like, all right, which way do you want to go for here, here, and here? To finish the randomizer, and again, the way this randomizer is done, all the chests that you open is going to be a different item, or it's going to be an equipment like it's going to be a keyblade, it's going to be something for your accessory. It's just going to be a potion.
If you think that you're going to get a mithril shard, I was sitting in Simba World.
Yeah. Pride Lands.
Thank you.
I remember.
Hey guys, we know lots about Kingdom Hearts. What's Simba World called? God dang it!
It's called hell.
Anyways, Pride Lands. When you're in Pride Lands, I remember going there and I was like, I opened a random thing, and I think it was like an AP boost or like a shard of some type. I got Ultima out of it, and then what made it even worse is we have stats randomized.
Yep, so that's another.
So it was a really bad Ultima. It was like 4/4.
Yeah.
And had some crappy ability on it.
There are so many, I wouldn't say it's so many settings you can do, but there are settings on there that super change stuff. So you can either have balanced Keyblade, so everything's going to be like a 3/4, maybe a 5/2, something like that, or you can have it boosted. So your starting Kingdom Key is going to be like a 10/7. Yeah, it was something stupid.
Yeah, I had a 10/7 on my second one. I found out, by the way, so I was looking through, trying to figure out where could I get another Keyblade. So this was my second run of it.
You're looking
and
at
I had Fenrir. I had gotten that from Timeless River. There's another thing I get from Timeless River for Monochrome.
What did you get on Monochrome?
I didn't get it yet because, beating those different areas I just didn't have the health for.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or the dodging abilities to really handle doing them. The other Keyblade was Ultima. So Ultima's sitting in Timeless River waiting for me, and I was like, I can't get you because
I'm not good enough.
This game sucks and likes to I mean, it'd be one thing if I had my defense is 2. My defense is less than 10. So it's not even that I suck at the game, it's that if I get hit once, I'm dead.
Yeah, if the wind blows on you, you're gone.
Exactly. And that was the problem with my first run was I almost rage quit because I was in Cave of Remembrance, and I had to do the forced fights, and they were just making me,
cry.
Yeah, that's the nice way of putting it. Because we still, got to keep it somewhat family friendly. But yeah, they were basically destroying my soul and scattering the shards of my heart and memories across all of the world.
Chain of memory. I hate myself.
Their chain of attacks left me with just a bunch of annoyed memories. Because you can't get out of anything because you don't have aerial recovery.
But don't worry, I don't have...
and you forget that you have retaliating slash, and you don't have block yet. Because guards on a Keyblade somewhere, hidden from you for the ages.
Yeah, so the other settings you can set, so when you level up, normally you get hey, you get guard, hey, you get,
scan.
Which you normally start with. Nope, it's entirely random.
You get scan at level 1 or 2. You get scan at level 2 or 3 from Roxas.
Yeah. So you have all little things here and there. That's entirely randomized. If you want, you can put those abilities, which we're not going to in the future. You can put those abilities on Keyblades,
which is dumb. Don't do it, please, dear God. Don't do that to yourself.
So that means you can have scan on a Keyblade, which means unless you have that specific Keyblade equipped, you will never be able to see the HP of enemies.
Or you could be like me and get scanned from one level up, and then the next level up, you also get scanned again.
Super scan.
So I had super scan, which lets me see into the code, and the code basically is just Sando looking at a spoiler log.
I mean, you're not wrong. You could have a Keyblade have guard. You could have a Keyblade have explosion on it, which means
Yeah, that was the only way I could have explosion. So I had to choose whether I wanted explosion
as a
or
finisher.
guard.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have to go with guard because literally everything else sucks.
Yep.
Until I got reflect. Once I got reflect, it was a little bit better.
So you might be wondering how do you finish the randomizer? You just go to the world that never was, you beat up Xemnas, and you're done? Not exactly. Since the whole thing is randomized, you need to have specific criteria in order to defeat Xemnas. Otherwise, you can just start it up, go to the world that never was, get your butt handed to you, and then beat the game in 10 minutes.
These three things that you do need. The original Final Mix doesn't tell you that you get these items.
No.
So these three items that are hidden behind three fights.
Kind of.
It's behind like the Zigbar, Luxord, and Syax stuff. But when you beat them in the randomizer, those clear conditions that you got to let you get to Xemnas, which are called proofs, to get those proofs, you have to.
I'm gonna stop you there. How you get the proofs in the original Final Mix is post-game stuff.
Oh, okay.
So there's the mushroom proof, which is doing all the 13 mushrooms.
There's the data. There's the
data.
The
fight.
nobody proof, which is because these are how you get the crowns.
Yes, this is how you get the crowns, and then the third one is beating Lingering Will.
Yeah, and so
to beat the randomizer, you have to get platinum crown, which is you get all three.
It's gold crown.
Oh, it's gold crown. Yeah, it's gold crown
because it goes bronze, silver, and gold.
So you get the gold crown, and you have to have the three proofs in order to beat Xemnas 2 and onward.
I guess amends it to what I was saying was the proofs have the coding for beating those three fights attached to them.
Yes.
So that way you can get through the graveyard, get through the organization graveyard.
Yeah. There is a setting which we've dabbled with and we screwed up last time because we didn't know how to do it. It's the Promise Charm, which is what Kyrie.
We didn't screw up with it.
We just didn't know.
Didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah. The Promise Charm is a key item that they meant to put in too, but they didn't know how to. But it's technically in the code. It's the
it's like basically it's the
Dreamcatcher.
It's the Dreamcatcher Palpoo fruit thing
that Kyrie
was made out of shells for Sora.
Yep.
That thing, which is the Promise Charm.
Yeah. That allows you to skip the main
all of the world that never was.
Yeah.
I skipped everything. It took me straight to the final cutscene, like right before the final boss.
Yeah.
But you have to find that charm somewhere in the game,
and you still
as well as the three proofs.
Yep. And I don't know if I know.
Then to activate it, you have to talk to the center console when you have all four of those items.
Yep. Now I mentioned everything is randomized, so you're getting all your equipments, you're getting all your abilities, everything from a chest, from boss fights, like the bonus level ups, from regular level ups.
Yeah, I think the biggest shaft I got was beating a boss and getting like a mithril shard.
It can also come from form level ups.
Yep.
Currently, it's not for summon because people don't use summon nearly as much, but they're thinking of putting that in the code.
It could force people to use summons more.
Yeah, but that just purely means you might be wondering, where do you get the proofs? Well, you have to go around and do everything. Certain worlds, currently, there's actually a couple of leagues for doing like randomizer runs, which people are just addicted to. Hey, I wake up, I want to do a 7-hour run. No, I don't want to do that. But they are there's specific routes, so you like go to Pride Lands and Disney Castle because they're early checks or chests rather that you can immediately do, get those done, go into another world, and then hope you grab some Keyblades, some equipment, and stuff here and there, and then just go on.
As a non-speedrunner, I like to go to Disney Castle because they also have EXP boosting.
Yep.
And so, their boosting is just lowering the amount of EXP you need per level. Like 5 times faster is that 80% of the EXP you need from level 1 to level 2 is gone.
Yeah.
So if it takes 100 EXP to get there, it's going to only take you 20 now.
Yep, and you can dial it down to just for Sora experience. You can do it for each form.
Yep, and the way I have mine set up is I have it 5 for everything. So I like to go to Disney Castle because I'll leave there at level 18.
Yeah, give or take. So that's currently what we found for the randomizer. We've gotten back into Kingdom Hearts because of it, honestly, and it's getting back into Final Mix, getting back into doing a whole bunch of other stuff. But it's like we need to, like, well, what's with this is like we need to look at the podcast and be like, hey, we need to do this, blah blah. But also,
it leads for talking about other mods and stuff like that too, which, you know, maybe we'll set it up with doing segments, because segmented podcasts might be better, of doing like intro, how have we been for the past week, main thing, mod of the week, because I want to play one Kingdom Hearts game a week.
yeah.
I want to do that with my Saturdays, is play one game, so whether Sando's here or not, get back to like playing through a mod or something like that. And there's one I want to play. I want to play they have a Kingdom Hearts Final Mix Aqua mod.
Yep.
Which looked really cool, like different new forms.
Yep.
Apparently you can T-pose just by casting magic.
Which
is her thing.
Yeah, so it's perfect. There's Ventus ones, there's Terra ones, there's if you want,
there's Terra Bull ones.
There's if you want, you can play entirely Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix entirely in Valor form, entirely in any of the forms. So that's starting off with.
I did that. I did a little bit of that. I did Master Form. Like Master Form run of Kingdom Hearts.
But that's like, you're, with the exception of Roxas, as soon as you get Sora, you're in Master Form the entire game. You have to unlock all the magics and everything, but you still have the ability to do all this crazy stuff.
Yeah, which is actually a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You get to feel overpowered.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like one of those things of like, what if Sora didn't lose all of his abilities at the end of KH1?
There's also,
or I guess at the beginning of every single Kingdom Hearts game.
There's also a mod that more likely I'm going to play, because anytime I play Kingdom Hearts, I play on the hardest difficulty, because the regular thing is both enjoyable. I also enjoy having a challenge. I prefer critical over proud mode anytime compared to Kill, who enjoys proud.
Oh yeah, I much prefer proud mode because it's more manageable and less ragey for me. I've done critical. I've done some stuff on critical. I was doing a level 1 critical run, which was fun. I enjoyed it, but I mean,
I will say
tough.
There's a mod that makes level 1 critical look easy. And
it's disgusting.
And it's 2 Final Mix, because that's the easiest one to not really corrupt, but modify and do stuff with. And it's just called it's Kingdom Hearts 1, actually. It's Kingdom Hearts 1 Master Difficulty. Is what the community has named it.
Can we just talk about the fact that if you added critical to Kingdom Hearts 1, it would become unbeatable anyway?
Close to it.
Because, I mean, just the movement system in that game.
Well, this mod actually changes the camera. It changes actually a whole bunch.
It probably updates it to the KH2 stuff. Because ever since they got to the ISOs and everything, like, if you don't know, an ISO is a ROM. Mm-hmm. ROMs are basically remote disks. I don't know the actual, like, acronym.
I know what normally ROM stands for, is read-only memory. But I don't know in this context.
But ROM for like an emulator and stuff, they're basically like a game cartridge. So it's like I gave Sando my disc for Kingdom Hearts 2, and he could go in and change the code. That's what an ISO is. Is basically, that's how PlayStation runs them. So you could actually get a Blu-ray disc and theoretically burn an ISO onto it.
Yeah.
And play it on your PC, or you can also rip the ISO off of them, and basically by ripping, that's just like copying, right? Like LimeWire and all those things used to do, and basically like make a CD or a copy, an image file. I think ISO's image source something like that. I don't know.
I could look it up on my phone, but I'm not going to
either. So I mean, my computers, both of them are behind me right now. So it does that, and it runs it off of an emulator, which is basically just a virtual way to play the game.
Yes.
And virtual way to have a system on your computer. Basically,
I brought my Switch.
Nice. Basically, making the fact that if you have a PC, you can play all these console games. And now, they've actually got Switch emulators out there now.
Yeah, there's emulators for a lot of stuff.
I haven't seen one for Xbox One and PS4. I haven't looked very hard. I haven't looked at all. But
there is a PS4 emulator. I don't know the quality. Oh, not the quality, but how many things you can do on a PS4 emulator.
I know with the Switch,
I have no idea.
With the Switch one, you can do a lot, though, because they've already made randomized Sword and Shield ROMs.
Whoa!
Yep. That's what we were watching the other week.
You're right.
That was randomized Sword.
You're right. That we was. Yeah.
I mean, and I want to watch more of that series, but it was Game Boy Luke was doing it with a friend of his. who I didn't know. I mean, I only knew Game Boy Luke because of my old runnings back in the day with the Pokemon tubers. Like, I started off just to age myself. The first people I was really watching that were Pokemon tubers were Shady Penguin and Nate Wants to Battle. A little bit of Dookie Shed. That was it. Those were like and those were the first.
I mean, the only one I recognize is Nate Wants to Battle, not just because of music, but I mean, even then, that was I wasn't into the gaming on YouTube until like 2010s, honestly.
Well, yeah, then that was like 2013, 2014 is when I got into it.
Yeah.
Right before I graduated, and right before I graduated college.
Yeah, you old man, you.
I am old. I'm super old. But I won't reveal my age because it'll make me feel bad about other stuff I've said in this podcast, like moving out. But just understand, I'm a public school teacher. I don't make a lot of money.
I was about to call you out. I was like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't. You young man who's younger than 40 years old.
I haven't hit 30 yet.
Hey, so that's up to you to say. I wasn't gonna go that far.
We did good. I haven't hit 30 yet. But it was cool stuff. And so that's what I got into. And so I know of Game Boy Luke because of Shady Penguin found him at one point in time.
Okay.
Before I stopped watching Shady.
Because he was too shady.
Well, I stepped back from a little bit of his community and was watching a lot of Nate. And then I moved back to watching him, and he just wasn't the same guy that I had fallen in love with watching. Which happens, people change, things have life events,
Yeah.
I remember going back out to college and trying to watch one of his videos. I was like, I can't do this anymore. Because it was and I now know he might have changed again from this person. But I know in 2016 he complained that the word shady was blocked by Nintendo, and he's like, why is Nintendo trying to block my name from things? And turned it into a thing that Nintendo was attacking him on it, and I was like, that is not at all what's going on.
I now understand why he is shady, because he is shady, man.
Well, I mean,
why couldn't I word that correct?
I don't know, but I mean, that's just, and he's a wonderful guy. He's a family man. He's got kids now. He probably makes great content still. I mean, he's been growing ever since.
I'll make you great content.
That's the point of the podcast.
You're right.
So don't take it what I'm saying. Viewers don't take what I'm saying as he's a terrible. I don't know him anymore. I just know that's why I stopped watching him. It's just Markiplier and Jacksepticeye are great guys. I don't watch them because of content choices they made, and I stopped watching them, and I just never got back into them.
Yeah.
I never started watching PewDiePie because of how he was when I was in high school. And people said now, if you watch content now, he's actually enjoyable and not super cringy.
Sometimes.
For what I've heard from the people I've heard from, I don't talk to, I don't want to watch PewDiePie's content because I just was never interested.
Hey, I don't want to watch your content because I can't say it. Yeah, I kind of can.
You don't watch my content, so
hey, work doesn't let me. Sorry.
I haven't made a YouTube to put the content over there for you.
I watch it sometimes. Dude, your VODs are long.
Oh, the VODs, I put the VODs up because I got tired of editing.
I mean, fair.
I don't
blame you on that.
I was I'm not editing and scheduling everything. I'm here's the VOD. Watch it throughout the week, and then move on to the next one if you want to. There's people out there that post 2-3 hour long content, and they make it big. I'm not putting in any of the effort to do that.
And you're making mediocre.
Well, I mean, I make good content on Twitch.
Yeah.
I just don't translate into the YouTube because I don't have the time. I'm working on starting a business. I'm, getting ready to go back to school with all this COVID stuff going on. And I'm streaming, and I'm working out a lot more. It's just kind of nice.
You're becoming a sexy man. I was gonna say young man, but you're not young because you're an old man.
Yeah, So it's just
I almost insulted you. I won't do that.
Nice, thanks. So it's just one of those things. I mean, I know for me, Thursdays, I wanted to get back to Paper Mario. I want to finish that game up. Origami King, I enjoy it. It's not the best. It's very hand-holdy.
How much do you have left in that? Would you say hours wise?
Hours wise, I don't know. Hours wise, I'm maybe
percentage wise.
I'm maybe halfway through the game.
Oh, okay.
I probably have
more than that.
I'm probably 45 to 50% of the way through the game.
Okay.
At least story wise, content wise, I probably have even more. they're getting ready to take me on like a random side adventure to go do something for one of the main characters.
Side adventure to build exposition for main stuff.
So they've done that, and they do a pretty good job where it's not actually annoying.
Okay.
It's like, it feels good, but that's something that's about to happen. So, then Fridays I generally stream with like Panda. We'll just play a game together. We just beat Gears 1 on Insane.
Nice.
And the ROM fight only took us 5 attempts, which is the final boss, for those that don't know. Whereas the theater fight, which was PC exclusive, it was not originally on the 360 because the 360 couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
I couldn't have handled it when I was that age playing that game in high school. But we played it, and it took us 2 hours to get through the theater.
Jesus.
Like 30 attempts. It was so frustrating because it's one of those parts where you're separated from your partner. So if the partner dies,
Yep.
it's the whole, you got to restart because you can't get down to heal them.
Yep.
So that was bad, but we beat Insane, probably the quickest that either one of us have beaten it because we had it, like, we don't get frustrated with each other that much. And then Saturdays I want to do Kingdom Hearts stuff,
which hopefully I can be there for if you come by the stream. No promises because work doesn't like me, but I also like work because money.
Yeah. And then
I'm not doing good with wording tonight, man.
And then Sundays in the morning we've been doing the Ocarina of Time randomizer with Retro Kai. Panda and I have been doing that with Retro Kai. So go check that out on my YouTube, which is Kilohms, Kilohmz. I'll have it in the description if you guys want to check those out. But they're like the full length VOD. So like, I have a 5-hour VOD that went out today of the entire Ocarina of Time attempt number 2 that we went through. But it's the full VOD. It's all there, so you guys get to see it all. So there's that aspect of it, which is what I want. I want you guys to be able to get all the content. It's just I'm not going to stream to YouTube and lose my affiliate on Twitch for that. I have plenty of people who enjoy supporting me over there for that. So
yeah.
Anyways, I guess we should get back to KH2 for the last like 10 minutes.
Oh, nice.
Because we're at like 40 minutes, 42 minutes.
I've been sitting over here staring at your monitor trying to see what the time is, and then even with my glasses on, I still can't read.
It's right there, and it's really small because OBS.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like started talking about the content that I was been working on.
I mean, it's still fine.
I want to get back to Cage. We're gonna we're probably gonna get dinner. I don't know what we're gonna do for dinner. We gotta talk to my roommate about that too.
Yeah,
but we'll probably get dinner, and then we might just jump on my Xbox and.
I forgot you have it on Xbox now.
Yeah, which sucks. Which means I'll probably be playing. But we're gonna probably go through some of the data fights. For Remind.
Yeah, get back into it. Realize that Sando is better at this than Kayla is because Sando plays way too much of games.
Well, yeah,
I played too much.
You play way more of like. I think that we have the same skill level if I put in the same time.
Yeah, I just have a lot of the knowledge and like where to for stuff.
You put in a lot of the. You put in.
I put in a lot of the time. I put in a lot of the side stuff.
And I think the thing is with that, like, I just choose to only play video games like when I'm streaming or when I have friends over.
Yeah.
A lot of times, otherwise, I'm like relaxing and just like watching content. If I was playing Kingdom Hearts during those times, I think you and I would probably be at the same spot. And I'd probably be at the point where I'm like, oh, I just need to do critical mode because I'm bored. But I just don't put that many hours in, except for like Mario Maker, which has like 700 hours in it.
I can check real quick.
I mean, I can check too. It's not worth it. It's not quite 700.
I agree with you. It's not worth it, but I've got Yu-Gi-Oh on my Switch right now because I'm a nerd.
I know. I saw you pick it up and start playing it. But yeah, so more Kingdom Hearts content will come. We're gonna talk about stuff. We're gonna play more of Remind because we just need to beat the data fights and then watch the ending. And then once I watch the ending on Proud Mode, I'm gonna go search YouTube for the critical ending because I know there's something different for the critical ending.
Yeah, and I need to go back and get on my save.
I'm just kind of like, I'd rather just see it than play through on critical right now because I keep hearing stuff about Yozora. On critical, and that's apparently harder than Lingering Will. And I never beat Lingering Will on standard. I never put the time forward to beat him.
I can't remember. Did I beat
You didn't beat him on crit either.
Okay, I couldn't remember because I know we got really close.
We got really close on him, and we had him and 3 or 4 more data fights on my crit before I sold my PS4.
Yeah.
We had a lot done on that. Like, we went out, we got Ultima, we had a lot of stuff. So, yeah. I guess
So, what else we want to talk about these last couple minutes?
You guys need to check out the randomizers.
If you want to yell at us, like
guys...
especially for yelling at me to either get a microphone for me, or just yell at me and tell me, "Hey, you should talk louder," even though my level right now is the loudest I normally talk ever. Hit us up on Twitch, not Twitch. Hit Kale up on Twitch.
You can hit me up on Twitch. I can get most messages to him.
Or I'll say hit us up on Twitter, and
Twitter's the best way. Which
I can't tell you what my Twitter is because I don't.
We'll have our links. I think you're 153,
maybe,
or 152. It's 152 or 153.
Something like that.
We'll have it in the descriptions.
Yep.
We'll have my Twitch. I'm also gonna put my Discord link in there.
Okay.
So if you guys want to jump in and say that, hey, you're from the podcast, if we get like 3 of you guys coming in saying you're from the podcast.
Hey, can I say I'm from the podcast even though I'm a part of it?
No, because you and I would be like the 5. So it's like 5 people minus us. So 3 people.
All right.
That listen to the podcast. Counts. And even if you're already in my Discord, so like I have friends that listen to this, but they love Kingdom Hearts. Say something in my Discord. I will make a section, like a category folder. We'll call it KH Podcast. And we'll have a general talking about Kingdom Hearts. We'll have ideas for the podcast. That way you guys can actually like talk to us about things.
Yeah.
And we can post in there when the podcast goes live so that way you guys know. I'll also tweet about it.
I won't do anything unless you ask me to.
Yeah.
Because I'm terrible with stuff. But I like to talk.
But yeah, no, reach out to us on our socials because that's the best way for us to know like what you guys enjoy and what you guys would like to see more of.
Yeah.
And yeah, like that's pretty much it. This was a nice welcome back. We didn't have a huge amount of KH to talk about because like we haven't done any research to talk about anything either.
And we want to get back into doing a lot of the theory crafting and stuff here and there, but it's also like, where do we start? What have we already talked about so we don't like get over on top of us? I worded that wrong.
Yeah, what do we do so we don't repeat ourselves?
Yep.
And stuff like that because like it's just cool stuff to talk about. Like, I mean, I wouldn't mind sitting down and talking about the forms, talking about why does Sora go into anti-form and what is rage form.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool to sit down and talk about and see if we can find any lore on because I mean, well, I know why he goes into anti-form. Because anti-form is just a remnant of him turning into a Heartless.
Yeah, it's just remnant of Albert Sora.
Yeah.
The best Albert.
The best Albert, yeah. So
ones that
yeah, it's the best because you can't kill it and all the other ones just die.
Yeah, no, the other ones get stuck in the floor and they're like, you can't touch me.
Now
if we talk about adult Albert,
Neo Shadows. The Neo Shadows. I was thinking like, what, Grandpa Albert's the dark sides?
Oh god, no.
Swole brother Albert.
You mean Captain Awesome? That's a reference to something.
Anyway, just let us know. I'll make I guess yeah. If you guys come into my Discord,
which again the link is going to be in the
it'll be in the description, and you guys are just like, hey, KH Podcast,
or hey, if you're already a part of the Discord and you're just now listening, hey, still let us know.
Yeah, it'd be good things. So that way we can keep doing stuff. But that all being said, find our socials and stuff. And we'd be more than happy to talk with you guys, communicate. My DMs are open. Sando's DMs are inconsistent, so
but they're open.
They are open, but if you're trying to reach somebody, basically just reach Kill.
I mean, I'll answer you if I'm not in a dead zone, which if I'm working, I'm in a dead zone. Work doesn't like me, man.
I guess that's really it for this one. It's like I don't want it to end, but I don't have anything else to talk about.
Well, we did just get a dog in the room, so we can talk about that for like...
No, we can't.
All right, see you.
All right, so I hope you guys have a great day. Stay awesome. Do great things. We'll see you guys I guess next week for
Hopefully.
more Organization 2. And I don't know, maybe I'll get Sana to give me like 10 seconds of mad beats for an intro for next week. That'd be kind of fun.
Oh no.
Anyway, that being said, I hope you guys have a great one, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.
See ya.